Breaking news. So we talked about this during the full episode of Toku Station that I did just a few days ago live on our Twitch. You might be watching this, by the way, through our YouTube channel, TG Productions. Either way, I talked about the press conference that was coming up for Kamen Rider, specifically the first Kamen Rider in the Reiwa era. Here we are. I said I was going to do this live, didn't sadly get the chance to. If you were in the US in the EDT time zone, the Eastern Standard Time Zone, you would have seen it alongside myself, and I was going to try to do it live, but again, sadly couldn't happen. By the way, we're able to talk about it right now, so let us begin. Now, before we talk about, as you can tell, by the way, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, I'll describe some of the stuff that's on the screen right now, but if you're watching this, we have 3 new Kamen Riders coming into the fold. We actually have Kamen Rider Zero-One, which the show is named off of. We have Kamen Rider Vulcan, and we have Kamen Rider Valkyrie. I'll get into some of their backstories a little bit later. Right now, let's talk about who is actually working on Kamen Rider Zero-One. So we have it will be produced by Chihiro Inoue, who of TV Asahi, and Takahito Omori of Toei, who produced Kamen Rider Drive, Ex-Aid, and Build. Yuya Takahashi, chief writer for Lupin the Third Part 4 and Kamen Rider Ex-Aid, will serve as the writer of this show, and Jun Watanabe will take over as an action director, a role previously held by Takeshi Miyazaki on 13 of the 20 Heisei Kamen Riders series, with his most recent run being Kamen Rider Ghost through Geo. And also Go Sakabe, who served as composer on Kamen Rider Ghost, will return to compose for Zero-One. Also should know that I'm going to post the articles down in the chat so you can follow along with me as I discuss both. Let's see right here. Okay, so posting both down in the chat. And of course, you're watching this on our YouTube channel, like I mentioned earlier, TG Productions. You'll find these in the description box down below. Now, we've learned that the story takes place in a version of Japan that has reached a new era where fully fledged AI androids known as Humagear, interesting, are commonplace. Humagear are so lifelike that they are indistinguishable from regular humans, as the article states. Now, this makes me a little bit, I don't want to say concerned, but I think the reason why this throws me off a bit is because even though, yes, this is meant to be a brand new Kamen Rider, brand new era, meant to not really tie into anything that came before it, we know that there's going to be a crossover special, as there usually is. So it always feels odd to me when a Kamen Rider show, or really any Tokusatsu show that is in a long-running franchise like this, where you know that there's going to be a crossover, feels a little odd when I rather just sit back and go, you're gonna cross over. And I know all crossovers aren't really canon usually, but still, when they cross over, you're gonna sit there and go, what happened to the future version of Japan in this new era? But either way, I digress. Happened with Go Busters, will happen again and again and again, probably till I'm 80. So what we do know about the story, though, the article goes on to state that the terrorist group Metsubojinrai.net hacks into the Humagear and causes them to go berserk, attempting to destroy humanity. The government responds by dispatching their anti-AI organization AIMS, and these are operatives that are capable of becoming Kamen Riders as well. So it seems to be, when looking at the rest of the outline for the story, that these Kamen Riders are man-made. Not the first time we've had that happen, and of course not the first time we've seen a plot a bit like this. I would argue very similar. I mentioned Go Busters earlier, a bit like Go Busters and other riders that have, and Super Sentai have come before, but still what matters is, will these actors and will these characters sell it? So before we go on to some of the actors, I want to mention that the article goes on to state that at the center of the story is Aruto Hinden, someone who lacks a sense of humor but has his sights set on becoming a comedian one day. That makes me laugh so much, not just because of the wacky premise, but the idea that this isn't the first writer that has had a situation like that before. Of course, we have Sogo, who wants to be a king, but a good king, not the evil king, but a good king. And many writers have these dreams that kind of go against their core nature of who they are. But of course, that's there to show you that, you should follow your heart, follow your dreams. You can do it, even though you might not be suited for it immediately, from the get-go. You have to work at it. So yeah, he wants to be a comedian, but he doesn't have a sense of humor. He is taken by surprise when his grandfather's will suddenly names him as the president of Hiden Intelligence. Although he has no interest in being president, he is given the Zero-One driver and becomes Kamen Rider Zero-One when Berserk Humagear appear. And so Aruto's battle will be against Metsubojinrai.net and AIMS. So both groups are hostile towards AI. And this is very relevant, of course, because while there are three Kamen Riders, ever since Ryuki, I would argue, we are now going to have another situation of rider on rider fights. So we have, looking at some of the actors. By the way, looking at most of the actors, while many of them do have credits to their names, very few credits. So a lot of young, fresh actors here. Oh my God! Looking at Zero-One, specifically Aruto Hiden. Wow, he's played by Fumiya Takahashi. And I mentioned last year, I think some of you guys, if you saw season 1 of Toku Station, when I mentioned how young the actor who's playing Sogo is on Kamen Rider Go, this actor was born in 2003. I will repeat that. As I age older without that app that makes you age older, look older. He was born in 2003. Dear God. And yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I said 2003. My bad. 2001. But still, yes, it was last year. Sogo's actor was 2001. Still, it hurts. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt regardless. Good God. All right, so main rider Zero-One, played by Fumiya Takahashi. And now we also have the secondary rider, Kamen Rider Vulcan. He is actually working with Ames. You can see here, if you're watching the video, the main rider, of course, Zero-One in the front in yellow. Not the biggest fan of the suits, to be honest with you, but I'm sure they're going to grow on me, and I can't wait to see maybe some other variations as the show goes on. But anyway, looking at Kamen Rider Vulcan, he is in the blue next to Zero-One. And again, he is the leader of the anti-AI special organization, AIMS. And the description here for him says he's a fighter with excellent abilities who faces off against terrorists for the safety of the city. So we are going to have another situation with a rider who, just like this year with Geo, who believes he is doing the right thing and will be antagonistic towards the main rider. Also looking at the third rider, Kamen Rider Valkyrie. She is, I should mention, by the way, Kamen Rider Vulcan, whose name is, his character's name is Isamu Fuwa, is played by Ryutaro Okada. Now, looking at Okada's roles, he has been in a show called Headhunter, Holiday Love, Fugitive Boys, and The Smartphone Guy, all within the last 2 years. So, like I said, 2 years. So he does not have. He was born in '93. All right. Look at him, only a year younger than me. Some Toku fans might be like, oh no, it's like, but for me, I'm like, that's nice. I like this. 93. Like this guy. Either way. So yeah, so not that many acting roles to his name, but that's fine because I do enjoy when Super Sentai and Kamen Rider is a vehicle used, and even Power Rangers as well, is a vehicle used to bring newer actors into acting and kind of help them not only with they don't do their own stunts, but still having to be there in person, but also with ADR work and stuff like that. Definitely a great segue into anime for them or any other voiceover work in the future. So we have the third rider named Kamen Rider Valkyrie. Her character's name is Yua Yaiba, and she's played by Hiroe Igeta. And she is going to be an AIMS technical advisor. It says here that she excels in battle thanks to her fighting strength. So this I enjoy very much because I'm not going to say that we've had female riders before, obviously, but we don't have a lot of them. So I've talked to you guys before, I haven't really followed Kamen Rider much other than Geo. I haven't followed it since Kamen Rider Wizard. So I fully acknowledge that, but still, it's been a while since we've had a female Kamen Rider, and I don't think we've ever had one just from the get-go right there. Please correct me down below, either in the live chat or in the YouTube comments section if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's been a while since we've had not only a female rider, but also I don't think we've ever had one with them, starting off since the beginning. So that's awesome. I'm again not the biggest fan of her suit design, but again not really the biggest fan of any of their suit designs. So again, like I mentioned earlier, will potentially grow on me as time goes on. Now we also have Eyes. She is played by Noa Tsurushima. and she is an AI android Humagear who serves as the secretary to Hiden Intelligence's president. Which, if you don't know, this is a stuff that's in the teaser, so it's nothing crazy. Teaser was in Japanese, not English subbed as of yet, but still nothing crazy to note here. So the Hiden president is actually Kamen Rider Zero-One, i.e. Aruto Hiden. So, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that earlier as well, I'm assuming. But yes, I mentioned earlier that he named him the president. So I did that myself. But either way, so he's not, so not only is he the president, but he has this AI android Humagear. Not sure if she might end up being corrupted and maybe she's going to be a secret spy or something along those lines as the show goes on. Also, we have Jin, who's played by Daisuke Nakagawa, who is the field commander of the terrorist organization Metsubojinrai.net, and then the leader of Metsubojinrai.net, looking like he's about to drop a rap album with oh god, what was there? They did songs in Bleach. Can't remember. I can't believe I've forgotten their name. Either way, Horobi, played by Shuya Tsunagawa. So, looking at some of their roles, like I mentioned before with some of the other actors and actresses, looking at Hiroe Igeta, again, only a few roles over the last 3 years. Aesop's Game, You Are Brilliant Like a Spica, which, as a Hispanic person, I don't know if I like that word. A little bit too close. But I will say that that actually is based off of a manga, so it has a different name in Japanese. And Silhouette of Your Voice and Death Forest 5. Okay, I didn't notice this one before. Jesus H Christ. All right, sorry guys, just the poster for Death Forest 5. Jesus H. Okay, just gonna walk away from that, and we're not gonna talk about that. And then looking at Daisuke Nakagawa, he was born in 98, so another 90s baby. Awesome. And yeah, he was in one role recently called Where Have My Skirts Gone? Alright. So, anyway, and then, yeah, that's just, that is. Okay, so we have, looking at some more actors here. Yeah, I can't find much on Shuya Tsunagawa for some reason. I don't exactly know why. And when we look at the last actor that's listed here, the character is Shun Fukuzoe, who's played by Kazuya Kojima. He's actually in a comedy duo. So let's talk about this man for a second, this character for a second, because he's not a writer. He's not really with any, terrorist organization or aims or anything like that. He's actually the vice president of Hiden Intelligence, and he is described here as an ambitious man who coveted the spot of president for himself until he is stunned by Aruto's sudden appointment. He walks through life as the perpetual runner-up. So, looking at him and the fact that he is part of the comedy duo Unjash, I was under the impression that he would be a comedy, very funny, just a comedic, I don't want to say foil, but a comedy, comedic relief. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Can't even say that it's late at night. It's 4 p.m. But point is that I thought he would be that. But when you see him in the teaser, it seems like he's actually someone who might be formidable. So he may stand in the main character's way while also being funny, because he technically is the vice president. So I don't know if they're going to get that into like board meetings and things like that. We do see Zero-One at a press conference, not in his Zero-One suit, but we see him at a press conference. And also the fact that his grandfather left him this tech, people are making jokes online that this is very much like a Japanese Tony Stark kind of situation. Perhaps. I mean, Garo has given us Japanese Batman. Not sure why we can't have Japanese Tony Stark, but I don't know how it's going to work necessarily, because with Tony, at least from what I remember, he was... Yes, he is a child prodigy and all that stuff, but he was a lot older by the time he jumped into the role. I wonder, what this is going to be like with an 18-year-old, with a very, very young character taking over this role. And also, I'm wondering what we're going to learn about the rider tech. Not the first time we've had man-made rider suits, but usually, and I don't mean this, I'm not saying this all the time, but usually with the newer eras of Kamen Rider, we have not had man-made suits be the main rider's suit. Usually. Again, remember, I haven't been following since Wizard, because usually there's some kind of weird mystical stuff at play. Again, not all the time, of course, but usually there's some weird mystical stuff at play. So, in this case, it's all man-made. I'm kind of curious where that is, how that's happening, and stuff like that. Also, we know, by the way, that Kamen Rider Zero-One will be airing on September 1st at 9 a.m. in Japan. Wow! September 1st, getting some love. Now, if you guys are a little bit confused, that's my birthday. And we're going to be talking about something else later on in the podcast, although it was in the longer clip on our Twitch, but it'll be cut up differently on YouTube, about something else that's happening September 1st in the Toku world. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. So, happy birthday to me. I would say I should do a stream about this, a review on the day of, but of course we won't have any ways to watch it in English on that day. So, oh, but still though, that's pretty cool. And I want to see if any more stuff I want to discuss before we. Oh yes, so voice actors Koichi Yamadera will be the show's narrator, while Noriko Hidaka will be providing the voice for the AI system. And I want to see their roles down below, what they've done before, because I'm wondering who did the voice for the belt, because that was actually really cool. So Koichi Yamadera, if you don't know, he was in Ghost in the Shell. Oh, he's Beerus in Dragon Ball Super. Wow, he's Spike in Cowboy Bebop. Again, remember all this Japanese. He's Ryoji in Evangelion. He's Cheese in Anpan Man. I don't know which version of Anpan Man that is. If you guys don't know, Anpan Man was parodied in One Punch Man, similar syllables. And he's Ryoga Hibiki in Ranma 1/2. And he's also, oh wow, he's Koichi Zenigata on Lupin the Third. All right, and he's done voice. Wow, okay, so he's dubbed over. Speaking of some roles in Japan that you can do dubs for that aren't anime, he voices over Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy in Japanese language releases of their respective films. So Koichi Yamadera is known as the guy that does Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy in any Eddie Murphy or Jim Carrey film, apparently. Also the official dubbed voice of Donald Duck in Japanese. We're learning a lot of weird stuff today. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. Okay, so let's see what we have here with oh yes, with Noriko Hidaka. All right, so before we wrap this one up, she is, oh wow, she was Noriko Takaya in Gunbuster, Kikyo in Inuyasha, Seta Sojiro in Rurouni Kenshin. She was Nier in Death Note, Satsuki Kusakabe in My Neighbor Totoro, Akane Tendo in Ranma 1/2. She's just in everything. If anyone's familiar with the anime Touch, she was Minami Asakura. Wow, so she has also done a lot of stuff. That's crazy. Oh, she was Annie Hughes in The Iron Giant. Again, remember Japanese version. So, all right, so a lot of roles between the both of them. And yeah, I'm really hyped for this series. I want to talk about some of the stuff that I learned a few days prior, but if you guys remember, if you guys knew about that, those were leaks, so of promotional images and scans, so I didn't want to get too into that because I didn't want to spoil anyone on the show. But now that this is official, really cool to be talking about it. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this stuff down in the comment section down below. Your speculation on Kamen Rider Zero-One. Are you hyped for it? Are you not? Are you going to watch it? Tell me what you think about all of this stuff down in the comment section down below.